Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. Just fairly recently, it has been noticed that virtually all the geopolitical zone are getting wiser by the day, and some are copying, the Fulanis, while others had those wisdom in them, but just that things were not balancing the way they expected, and that's why they did not use those wisdom, to interact with their leaders. Now, right now, it has to do with the issue of Father Mbaka. Father Mbaka came out so loud castigating the president and calling for his resignation or impeachment by the lawmakers. And after then, APC came up, lambasted him and talked about reporting him to the Vatican or the Pope and opening up on where he gets his inspiration from. Now, after then, Gabashe, who is the media person to President Muhammadu Buhari, came up and exposed everything, that the reason why Mbaka is overly bitter and is vituperating all those words against the president is because he came begging for contract and it was declined, and that's why he is acting the way he's doing, and that is what is actually biting him and all of that. Now, most people were like expecting that the Ndibos will leave him to float, but shockingly, the Ndibos have decided to coddle him, and they are not ready to crucify him like every other person is doing, but they would say they're like, when we get what we want, we can now do the blame game inside the house, which is one of the greatest wisdom. And this is coming from the indigenous people of Biafra leader, Nnamdi Kanu. He's the one using this great wisdom. And another person, you're going to hear that news, another person had come up also and is telling the person of Father Mbaka to emulate someone who was overly castigated before now. We're going to look at that in a jiffy and look at some of the comments of Nigerians before we also analyze the issues ahead before us. But then, before we continue, if you're not subscribed to our channel, kindly hit the red subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish our videos. All right, according to the news, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has said that the founder of Adoration Ministry, Enugu Reverend Father MNK Mbaka, must be defended regardless of his perceived fault. It was recalled that Mbaka had called for President Muhammadu Buhari's resignation or impeachment over his handling of security challenges in the country. But the president said yesterday that the priest was angry over President Buhari's failure to give him a contract after he had made the request. Reacting, Nnamdi Kanu said, "Don't allow the trusted character assassination antics of the supporter of APC Caliphate cause you to hate your own. After we subdue the caliphate, we can then come home and allocate blames in-house. Never join outsider to destroy your own." And meanwhile, another person have talked about the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, or talked about the issue of Father Mbaka emulating Nnamdi Kanu, talking about the NNPP chieftain Olusegun Bamboze. He had asked Reverend Father MNK Mbaka of the Adoration Ministry in Enugu to emulate the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Bamboze was reacting to the latest claim by the presidency that the recent outburst of Father Mbaka on President Buhari could be because the president never granted him his request to be given a contract. Enugu-based Catholic priest had, during the passing week, called for the impeachment of Buhari over the high level of insecurity in the country. The respected clergy, addressing his congregant at the adoration ground, said Buhari had failed Nigerian woefully and that he should resign now, wondering how the president could maintain a grave silence despite the incessant killing in the country. But in response, Gabashe, the special assistant to the president on media and publicity, alleged that Mbaka had visited the president at the State House seeking a contract. Bamboze noted that Nnamdi Kanu must have been under serious pressure from the presidency, governors, and other top individuals to abandon his cause for the actualization of Biafra, but up till date has remained untainted. This is a grave allegation and has cast aspersion on the integrity and reputation of the referred clergyman. The most outstanding quality of a leader is integrity, Bambuze said in a statement. He said that the integrity of a leader must not be questioned at any time. It must not be compromised. This is what sustained the leader in the midst of the storm. The request for contract by Reverend Mbaka as a form of compensation is morally and ethically wrong. It cannot be justified in any way whatsoever. When pursuing a cause, pecuniary interest should be out of it entirely. It should never be the consideration. This is one thing I respect Nnamdi Kanu for. He has stood tall in this respect. No one has ever accused him of making any demands from any quarter. This is highly commendable. A leader must be above board. A good leader, be it political or religious, must have watertight integrity. I might not agree with him on the issue of secession, but I respect him and rated him so highly for maintaining his stand in the midst of serious temptation. If he had wanted to yield and be a multi-billionaire, that would have been very easy. He is surely an Igbo man with a big difference. It's very disappointing the Reverend Mbaka demanded for gratification. He should not have done that. I am very sure that Nnamdi Kanu has been under serious pressure to abandon his cause from the presidency and governor and took an other top personality. But up till today, he has remained untainted. There would have been some irresistible offer which he had turned down. This is commendable. One would expect the clergyman to emulate Kanu, referred Mbaka's demand for Buhari's impeachment is in order, but it should be without any bias, possibly because he was not given a contract. The quickest killer of any good cause is lack of integrity and sabotage. The highly respected man of God should stop dining with the government because they will certainly mess him up. Those were the words of Bambuze. And this is really interesting. I mean, what is currently happening now is, I can liken it to what happened in the Bible days. You know, Jesus talking about a certain man who was wounded and injured by a bandit, left to die on the road. Now, a priest came and passed. Expectation is that since the priest is a religious man and has been taught the way of God, which is kindness, he would have helped. He came past. A choir mistress or a choir person also came past. But a normal Samaritan businessman was on his way to his business. He ran into this guy who was beaten, battered, left to die, picked him up, took him to the hospital, paid his bill. Now, what am I trying to say? The character of a Christian was now being seen in the life of a Samaritan who is called a sinner. And that is what is playing out today. Nnamdi Kanu has a lot of things to be emulated for. Now, one of the things is his continuity, consistency, despite sometimes it seems he's losing everything, but you still see him standing so strong, refusing to give in. Now, what Bambuze had said is a perfect truth. You know, if he needed billions of naira, Nigerian government would have given to him. Most people would have given to, but he refused. The guy is, sorry to say this, so one of the most stubborn guys I've seen in the war. I mean, he is one of the greatest activists I've seen in the freedom fighter I've seen in the war. He will shout, he will scream. Sometimes he will say things that hurt a great deal. Before you know, he comes back on board and see how he can correct it. But continually, he makes sure that he's carrying his people along. Today, he would have been one of the richest guys, having different kind of mansions in the world. But look at what is happening today. He's standing tall and Nigerians are respecting him for that. No one has ever come up to say, Presidency, we gave this guy 10 billion naira. The reason why he's still pushing so hard is because he came demanding for this and we refused to give him. That's why he's giving us so much trouble. Only one thing he seeks. And he said, if I have that, even if you guys don't make me president, I am good. All what I need is Biafra. And I mean, it's really commendable, you know. And this should have been the character of the men of God. that, who holds God's word in high esteem. It's something for us to learn from. I like to